Say, everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me, back again on Tuesday, is Bobano. Nice little day off for me yesterday, even though I made two plays, tanked them both yesterday on the live stream. But a good day off nonetheless. Excited to talk baseball here with you, Bobano. How are you doing?
Very good. Yeah, it's the middle of the summer, so it's been nice to just get not to have to do as many shows, to be quite honest, and nice to get a little relaxation time and really start to prepare for football a little bit too. It's never too early for me to get ready for that because every year I send out an NFL and college football season win totals and futures reports. So starting to work on that already, but also handicapping baseball every day. It's been weird where it's been kind of just back and forth. It's like a ping pong ball match. For me, it's 10 units on the season, 12 units on the season, back down to 10, back up to 12, back down to 10. It's basically been my last few weeks. It's been just up and down, up and down, up and down. But hopefully today is one of the up days. So.
That's what I've been feeling too. And lately it's been more up than bad. So it's not too bad at all. I can't really complain too much since earlier in the season we're down fucking 30 units. Now we're only down 7 units on the year, 210 and 217 on the season. So gonna keep grinding. We've got plenty of season left. We're about to hit the midway point in the season, really, games wise. So I'm excited to get into all these games. And it's nice getting a whole grasp on the league now. It's almost like the work does itself at this point, so it's nice. But let's get into these games, Bobano, because we have a lot to talk about, and let's try to get into them pretty quickly. Spencer Strider, who we all know and love, has had some struggles recently, and he's going against these Philadelphia Phillies and Ranger Suarez, one of my Venezuelan cousins there, pitching really well. He seemingly took a step forward in the playoffs last year. Last 2 starts, 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs at the Arizona Diamondbacks, arguably one of the better teams in the National League. And the Dodgers, again, another team that could be posted as one of the best in the National League. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run there. Strider's just not been good his last 2 starts. His Phillies start was 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, but at the Tigers last time just was bad. Velocity seemingly a little down. But the Braves' offense is so good that it's kind of tough to even consider fading him here, I'll be honest. So if anything on this game, I'm leaning over, but nothing for me so far. Bobana, what do you have?
Yeah, it's it's funny because I think that Strider's one of these guys where he could rack up 9-10 strikeouts tonight because he actually does match up well against the Phillies, but also at the same time, the velocity is down, and we talked about this the last time I was on here, and that's definitely a problem. It's why he's been giving up so many home run balls of late as well. So he's got to correct that. Simple. I mean, he just can't keep giving up the home run ball the way he has. It's been an issue. I like Atlanta to score against Suarez. They mash lefties. I don't know. I'm still not a big fan of Suarez. He's had some good starts, but I definitely think the Braves can do some damage here. I like the full game over. What I did is I split it with the Braves team total over 4.5 here at even money. So I like a little of both, the Braves team total over and the full game over. Strider strikeouts, I mean, I lean that way, but I am concerned that, he has seen that velocity dip. And when your velocity dips a little bit, you're not going to get as many strikeouts. And I like Ranger Suarez over 2.5 earned runs allowed as well at a very nice price, around minus 120 here. So that's what I'm looking at. Can't hear you, Jose.
Fucking classic Cab. Cab gave me that disease, Bobano. He really has. Ever since
you're learning from someone that you shouldn't be.
I know. I do 2 shows a week with Cab, and he just affects me like a disease, that bastard.
Try putting up with it all college basketball season on the Saturday morning show. Oh, my gosh. You're muted again, man.
That's going to be apparently me for the rest of this baseball season if I don't get my shit together. Let's go Baltimore, Tampa Bay Rays here. I lean with you, Bobano, but I had nothing on it. First play for me, I just made it, actually. Tampa Bay -1 here, minus 124. A little juicy, but I just ultimately think that Tyler Glasnow is that dude. That dude this year, he's the Rays' best pitcher. I think he's coming back and pitched really well. His last start was against the A's. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs to stop the streak for the A's there. Just a reminder of that. So impressive nonetheless, even though it was a minus 275 favorite-ish. Good pitching that in there. And then against the Rangers, arguably the best offense in baseball. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run there. I just can't get enough of the Rays, I guess. Bobano, just quickly, are the Rays the best team in baseball still, in your opinion?
I mean, they really have avoided a long drought. I mean, they've had a couple little bumps in the road, but they haven't had that long where they've really lost 10 of 11 or something like that. They haven't had that bad blip yet in their season. And so right now, I'd say they're up there as best team right now. I'm so impressed with that Texas team, though. I mean, I really, really like what I see there. Yeah, I mean, you could say the pitching with Texas is still a question and the bullpen, but man, I love what I'm seeing from that lineup. Deep, powerful. And it's really, really good. So Texas is right there, but I still have to probably say it's Tampa. I think Glasnow actually is a good matchup for him here against Baltimore in this game. I just don't want to lay $170. I think the Glasnow K's prop might actually be a decent look here in this game. It does, again, he does match up well against this Baltimore lineup. Bradish is capable, though. Let's not forget, Bradish is someone that he's had some struggles, but his last start against the Blue Jays was an absolute gem. He pitched extremely well in that game. So, you know, it's a large price to be giving a quality team like Baltimore, but I didn't bet it just because I think Glasnow is going to match up well against this lineup. Probably lean under as well.
Yeah, with literally probably any other Rays pitcher, I'd be on the Orioles here, I think. But Glasnow at home is just, I think it's just a different animal. The Rays, by the way, 9th last 2 weeks against righties, a 9th, 126 weighted runs created plus. And the Orioles right there with them, 140. That's 4th best. So I'll be interested to see. I definitely kind of lean over here as well, just based off those numbers. But a good matchup here. And only a 2-game series, funny enough. So we'll see how this operates there. Let's go Detroit, Kansas City, the opposite of what we just saw. 2 good teams, 2 shit bum teams. They really wanted nothing to do with here, Bobano. I'd like the Tigers. You know, admittedly, I wanted to bet the Tigers, but minus 140, didn't want to bet that. I really didn't want to lay the -1 here. So I ultimately ended up passing. Lorenzen is fine, but he's given up 6 earned runs in his last 2 appearances. So I don't really want to back that. I can see him bouncing back, but I don't want to risk that chance. And we know the Royals are really bad in general. Worst team in baseball against righties are the worst in baseball. Last 2 weeks, 22nd, 96 weighted runs created plus. So I pass here. And by the way, the Tigers allegedly this month, and for lefties, I had to use the whole month split because not many plate appearances for certain teams. But the whole month against lefties, only 57 plate appearances, but they're 142 weighted runs created plus is the best in baseball. So obviously a small sample size. Daniel Lynch hasn't been good this year either. Gave up 7 earned runs in 7 innings last time out, which is a really funny stat line. But ultimately, it's just a pass game for me, Bobano.
Yeah, the Tigers against lefties, it's like that relationship with the chick. You know, it's on again, it's off again, it's on again. I mean, at the beginning of the season, they were mashing lefties. Then they couldn't hit a lick against lefties for a period of time. Now they're mashing lefties again about the last, couple of weeks. And Lynch is a lefty, and Lynch is a struggling lefty. He's not exactly someone that's been consistent one start to the next. Don't look now. The Tigers are 8-1 to the over, by the way, in their last 9 games. They have been an over machine suddenly. Hitting, the pitching's been sort of so-so, and the bullpen, which was doing well, hasn't been nearly as good lately. Kansas City has a terrible bullpen. We know that. So I actually think over is worth a look in this game.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Weather's nice, too. Warm, 80 degrees.
I don't hate that at all. It's a nice warm weather day. By the way, Bobano, Texas right now fucking baking. 112 yesterday. It was 100 degrees at 8 o'clock. Oh my God, it's just sickening here. So shout out to everyone in some cooler places. Just know I'm jealous of you, admittedly, right now. Toronto Blue Jays versus the Miami Marlins. And all I see are people just shit talking the Toronto Blue Jays. Bobano, it's all I see everywhere. They're just bad. And I'd like you to take this one away here because I thought first 5 under here. You know, admittedly, Yuri Perez, Kikuchi kind of just seemed easy, obvious play. But I had nothing on this game. And I want to hear your state of the Blue Jays here as they are not in the playoffs right now in the wild card race, but on the outside looking in as of right now.
I mean, this is insane that Miami's considering taking Yuri Perez out of this rotation when Trevor Rogers comes back. That's totally absurd. You've got a team that's obviously in second in the division, that's clearly played a lot better than anybody thought coming into the year. Maybe I think we got to start giving Skip Schumacher some manager of the year consideration right 100%. Now as well for the Miami Marlins. It's been a terrific job by him. But now they're at a point where, okay, expectations weren't high coming into the season, but clearly we're doing something right. We're 10 games above 500. We're playing good baseball. The lineup is hitting. The lineup has been one of the biggest improvements from last year's team. Luis Ariz is just, you can't get the guy out right now. It's absolutely incredible what he's been able to do. And then you factor in Jesus Sanchez has stepped up. Brian De La Cruz has all of a sudden provided a power bat for this lineup. Garrett Cooper is still giving you good ABs more often than not. You got guys like John Birdie down the lineup coming through with big hits. I mean, it's just been very impressive from this Miami team. And Perez has been outstanding. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. 1.8 ERA, 36 strikeouts, and 35 innings pitched since joining this Marlins rotation. He's been absolutely phenomenal. And this Blue Jays team is just in one of those funks again where they're not hitting. I mean, you definitely have to put an asterisk beside the 6 runs they scored on Sunday against Texas, because clearly they got John Gray on a horrible day. And then after that, when Gray left the game, they didn't hit a lick. They went right back to ice cold with the bats and the sticks again. So it's just not a team that's got great confidence at the plate. Vlad Jr. is totally lost right now. Chapman is ice cold. Bichette's been okay, but Kiermaier's cooled off after a good start. I mean, it's just not a good lineup right now. And Perez, with the way he's pitching, how does he not dominate this group that's just struggling right now to score runs? So I like Miami. I think the price is short, hot versus cold. That's the way I see this. I like Perez over strikeouts in this game as well. And I certainly wouldn't talk anyone out of the under. I mean, Kikuchi's a mystery. Kikuchi could dominate. Kikuchi could give up 5 in the first 3 innings. That's what you could get here from Kikuchi. So I definitely think still Perez gets the better of him. Miami and the Perez strikeout prop here over for me.
It's going to be a good game here, Bobano. And by the way, manager of the year right now, it's going to be a fucking dogfight in the National League. You've got the Reds manager, who I can't even name. No idea who the Reds manager is right now. He's up there. Gabe Kapler and the Giants, if they put together something, he could be up there, and obviously Skip here.
They couldn't wait to get rid of Gabe Kapler in Philadelphia after that.
It's so funny.
Disaster there. And look what he's doing in San Francisco. This is like the second year in 3 now where he's taken this team that's expected to do jack shit, and look what they're doing right now.
Yeah, I love it. I have a Phillies fan friend that I mentioned that to him often. He's a big Gabe Kapler guy. We ran him out of town. It was much funnier when they had Joe Girardi as their manager. Unfortunately, Rob Thompson is fine. He's just whatever at this point. But no manager for a year for him, I'll tell you that. No. Let's go on to another bet of mine here, Bobano. Mariners, Yankees here, 2 underperforming squads. Relatively, everyone freaking out about the Yankees, but the Yankees are still a couple games over 500. So whatever. We know they have the worst offense in baseball since Aaron Judge left. We all know that he's the most important player to his team in baseball. And we know the Mariners are just downright disappointing offensively. And Garrett Cole, he's not playing the Red Sox, so I kind of expect him to have a good start here. So I went under here, Bobano, full game under 7. It's a tight number. I don't enjoy the lowness of this number. But the Yankees offense has just been that bad, and I don't think that George Kirby I think George Kirby's a good pitcher anyways, so I just think he can dominate him here. And if Garrett Cole gives up some runs against the Mariners, I will be very perturbed and continue to hate him. So I'll go first for a full game under 7 here.
You know, I was leaning Seattle initially, and then I think the under is worth a look here as well. I agree. It should be low scoring. The problem is 7 at Yankee Stadium. It's tough for me to get behind that.
Yeah,
it really is, where you blow on the baseball, it can get out of the park in that stadium. So, you know, that's the issue. But I certainly think runs are going to be hard to come by. I don't trust either lineup, especially against these particular pitchers. I think Kirby matches up well here against this Yankee team, which just hasn't been hitting consistently as of late. And not surprising, obviously, to see that when you obviously don't have Aaron Judge in the lineup. That leaves a huge void, and you're seeing that right now. Cole has been, Cole didn't have a great start last time, but he's still got good numbers, and the Yankees have been very good with Cole at home. I mean, the win-loss record still for the Yankees with Cole at home is like 8-1, something like that. Still very strong. And you got a Mariners lineup. We talk about the Yankees been striking out a lot lately. Same with the Mariners, and obviously Cole is capable. So you would think the Mariners against a strikeout pitcher, bad fit. You would think the Yankees, they haven't been scoring runs. They've been striking out more often lately against a quality arm, and Kirby, who's pitched a little bit better lately. That's a bad fit. So I lean under with you. I'd lean Seattle, but I talked myself out of Seattle. The price at even money, the value is not good in my opinion, and I could see Cole dominating as well. What I do like is both of these pitchers over their strikeout prop. I think it's a good look.
Oh, not bad there. I like that you're leaning that way, and I like that you like the strikeout props because that definitely makes me feel better. Let's move on to our next game here. I've got another bet here, and I was just looking at my record keeping database here to see if I could control F and see how many times I've bet on Jordan Montgomery and Mackenzie Gore this year. I haven't been able to look at it yet. But I'm Bobano. I like both these pitchers. Shots to Mackenzie Gore got me a rather sweaty victory on them on the Nationals. First five plus a half. He went 0-0 against the Astros. Made me feel good about myself here. And truthfully, I kind of wanted it again here. The Nationals against lefties are, full season okay. But this month, 69 weighted runs created plus and 210 plate appearances. That's 26th best. Not good. So I was like, all right, well, I can't bet them. The bats aren't going to come through. Even if Jordan Montgomery is bad, he's had two pretty good starts back-to-back here. 6 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs against the Giants. Acceptable. And then a shutout performance against the Reds. I remember fading him that day. Lead me. I was like, okay, well, sure. I don't think the Nationals will score here. But the Cardinals against lefties this month, the team that we saw destroy lefties for the last 2 years, horrible. This month, dead last, 38 weighted runs created plus and 120 plate appearances against lefties. Mackenzie Gore, good enough lefty. I think he can continue to hold him down. So I went first 5 under here. But, man, I got first 5 under 4.5, too, which I was shocked to get. So I'm on it. Bobano, what do you think?
Yeah, there's a huge move to the under here, 9.5, and it's gone all the way down to 8.5. I think there's definitely respect for both of these pitchers. I don't have as much respect for Montgomery right now. As he's not exactly been as good. Washington has at least hit lefties. Well, for the whole season, they've hit pretty solidly against lefties. Lately, not as much. We'll see how Montgomery fares here in this one, but he's labored through that last start against San Francisco. We'll see if he can pitch well here. I think Mackenzie Gore can pitch well here. He shut out Houston. Very impressive start against the Astros in his last outing after a bad one against Atlanta. So I think he could fare well here against St. Louis, pitching outside the division. Who do you trust as far as the teams? Because Montgomery on the mound, St. Louis is 3-11, and with Gore on the mound, Washington is 4-10. So it's neither team has won with these respected starters on the mound, but I think there's a little value here on the Nationals, quite honestly. I like them a little bit, first 5 full games, simply because they've been hitting lefties better lately than St. Louis. And to be honest, I like Gore a little bit more than Montgomery. So I'm on the Nationals here, a first 5 full game split. I know they've had a tough time winning games, obviously, but I've backed Gore in certain spots before. Including in his last start against Houston, and I was rewarded with a big plus price, I think plus 175 or something Washington was in that game with Gore against the Astros. I was on Washington in that one. I'm going to come back to the well with the live home dog here with Gore once again.
Yeah, Cardinals continue disappointing, just pissing me off every day, one day at a time. But I'm going first 5 under 4.5. I hope you get that dub there. Ideally 1-2 nothing there for us both. Let's go Pirates Cubs here. Next game on our slate.
Gore over strikeouts too. Forgot to mention that.
Mackenzie
Gore over strikeouts. I am on that as well. You mentioned it. Just the tanking in the numbers for St. Louis against lefties as of late. Walk rate down, strikeout rate up. I mean, it's just been awful all of a sudden what's happened for them against lefty pitching this month. So over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 105 for Gore.
And especially when they have Paul Goldschmidt, who I think still holds the all-time record for like best OPS against lefties or something like that. It's something ridiculous. So shout out to Paul Goldschmidt. Next game here, Cubs Pirates, and shout out to Razor. Like I was about to say, he gave out the Cubs yesterday, an easy, no sweat winner there. And the Pirates are kind of swooning again, as we all see. 29th last 2 weeks, 57 weighted runs created plus against righties. Again, this felt like kind of an obvious Cubs -1 spot for me, plus 104, I believe. I had it written down. I didn't add it officially yet. Wanted to talk it out with everyone. And I haven't mentioned any of the market, and apologies about that. I should bring that up here now. Let me see. Hold on real quick. All right. Markets in this game. It's about 67% of the tickets and only 45% of the money on the Cubs here. Very interesting. 33%, 55% of the money on the Pirates. On the other games, real quick, I'll touch on those real quick. For the Yankees game, since I'm on the under, I'll mention the total action there. Real quick, sorry. 54% per ticket of tickets and 75% of money on the under there. Braves, there's nothing too weird about the market so far. The Braves game has 73% of the bets and 52% of the money on the over there, which truthfully I kind of would want more of it if I was betting the over there, but whatever. And market wise, everyone on the Rays there, 66% of the bets and 85% of the money on the Rays too. So yeah, apologies for not mentioning that earlier, but there it is there. And if you guys have any specific questions, I'll definitely answer them. Bobana, what about you? Do you have anything on this game?
I like the Cubs a little bit here too. Smaller bet on the Cubs first 5 full game split. I like Stroman over strikeouts here. Again, with Stroman strikeout props, I find he's been a little bit underpriced in some of these situations, and lately he's been good for usually around 6 strikeouts. He's had some 8 strikeout games lately as well, and we're only asking him to have 4.5 over 4.5 here at plus 102 at FanDuel. I think he can get 5 strikeouts. He K'd them 5 times last time he faced the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, why can't he do that again here? So I like Stroman over 4.5 strikeouts, Cubs first 5, full game split. Pittsburgh lineup, right now, as you see their offense, it's been a tough time during this terrible losing streak, 7-game losing streak. And in the last 3 games alone, they've scored just a grand total of 2 runs. I mean, it's just not very good production at the plate right now. Whereas for the Cubs, you're starting to see their offense wake up a little bit more. They had a nice weekend at the plate against Baltimore. Bellinger was hitting. Morel had a big home run. Swanson with a couple of nice home runs as well. Seiya Suzuki. He's been hitting well lately for the multi-hits in 3 straight games for him. So definitely a more trustworthy lineup at the moment. Probably a better pitcher. Oviedo's all over the place. So, yeah, Cubs first 5 full game. Stroman over 4.5 strikeouts as well.
There you go, LG. Back-to-back does scare me a little bit, but I trust my guy, Bobano. Nate Dogg, 420. Leaning over 8 and over on the Stroman strikeouts there. Next game on our slate here, Bobano, and we appreciate everyone in the chat as always. Hit the like button while you guys are here. Again, appreciate you guys. Rockies, Reds, a shit game here, Bobano. I really want nothing to do with it, but I do hope the Reds continue to win. I'm kind of kicking myself because we talked on this program for a couple of weeks about Reds to win the division. We were like, oh, plus 1,300. It looks real nice. And now 2 weeks later, here they are, winning the division, essentially. Tied for first place. So it's shocking to see. I don't know how long they'll keep it up. If you did not bet the Reds to win the division yet, I would hold firm, wait, because just as the Pirates, we're going to see this team have its meteoric rise that it's on, and it's going to drop right back down. And they're going to hit a swoon, and once that swoon comes, if you still believe in the Reds, that's when you should bet the Reds to win the division here, not at their plus 400 or whatever it is now. So just wait if you haven't, but shout out to anyone that did. Nothing on this game, Bobana. What about you?
So it's one of those deals where I'm on Cincinnati. It's automatic. I have been on them a bunch during this run. I think I took them in a couple of the games against St. Louis. I know I was on them in every game against Kansas City. And I even, honestly, took them in every game as well against Houston over the weekend when they swept the Astros. Like I said, I got to ride this team. They're undervalued. They're playing, lights out. They're playing with extreme confidence. The energy is high. These young kids that are now littering this team, have just given this team a brand new look. There's so much enthusiasm. There's so much energy now coming to the ballpark every day. Joey Votto, the old man of the team, returns last night, makes his season debut.
That was very cool.
He does. Very cool. Home run, 3 RBIs, the game-winning 2-run single as well that gave the Reds the victory. And he just said it. I want to be part of this. This is fun. This is cool. This is exciting. This is the life that is back in Reds baseball right now. He said, I want to be part of that. It was a great post-game interview. If you didn't see it, you should check it out. It really showed that this is special to him to be part of this with this young group. So, look, they're going to fall down at some point, but I don't know if the Rockies are the team that's going to lead to the swoon starting, especially Noah Davis. I mean, the numbers for him, he's making a spot start here, but 6.17 ERA on the season, 1.8 whip. Those are bad numbers. Reds are hitting the ball quite well of late. And I like Lively for the Reds. One of their many great pitching prospects, man, with Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, Ben Lively, Williamson, who's, I think going to be a pretty solid pitcher for them as well. at Brandon Williamson, and we saw him last night. I mean, this team has just got a cupboard filled with young talent, position players, hitting, pitching. I mean, it's just very, very special what they're developing. Wait, 3-4 years, 5 years from now, Cincinnati might be ruling the National League, quite honestly. But, right now you're seeing signs of what the future has to offer. And I don't know if Colorado's the kind of team I trust to stand in their way. So I'm going to go with the Reds. Same bets as yesterday. Reds first 5, -0.5, -125, and a little bit on the -1 as well, -140.
Beautiful, Bo Bano. I love the Joey Votto shit. It's really exciting. I think we all kind of going into the year expected Joey Votto's last ride, go off into the sunset just like Miguel Cabrera is doing. He'll just be weird, play some chess, do some weird shit, drive some buses, who knows? And nothing like a playoff race to get a player going. So I'm not going to say he's going to be the Albert Pujols of this year and hit like fucking 40 home runs or whatever. But that's going to be a great story to watch for the whole year. And that's going to be our like Albert Pujols replacement. So it'll be very exciting. Shout out to Londo, I should say, whose birthday is June 22nd. Come back on June 22nd and you'll get your birthday pick, my man. All right. So let's move on here and shout out to Nate Dogg, Rocco, Cheshire Cat in here, LG as well, Markel as well in here. Appreciate all of you guys. Oakland, Cleveland, another game I've got zero interest in. Ken Waldichuk will be opening for Luis Medina here, which I think is probably a good idea because the only good Luis Medina start he's had this year wasn't even a start. It was him getting open for and then coming in and pitching well after. So maybe the A's have found something here, but I'm all set here. Want nothing to do with them. If I had to make a play, it would be on the A's, but I just have nothing here. I don't trust the Guardians at all to score enough. So it's just it's kind of shocking to see them this high of a favorite, I'll be honest.
Well, I did cash in about as easy a winner as possible with Cleveland on Sunday when they just rocked Zach Davies and the Arizona Diamondbacks. So I'm hoping that's a sign of things to come tonight for this offense because I actually like the over here in this game. I think Oakland can do enough damage. I got 8.5 with juice, 9. I still recommend it. I don't think much of Waldichuk at all. Certainly, I think Cleveland can do some damage here. Savale, he's obviously not as bad as he was last year, but he's still not someone I trust to shut down a lineup start to finish, even Oakland's lineup, which we know at times can be pretty tough to score runs. They've cooled off again. Remember, they were winning those games. They had that win streak, and the lineup's kind of cooled off again since then. But I think they could do enough, score me 3 or 4, at least 3, and I think Cleveland can probably take care of the rest here. So I like the over here with Oakland and Cleveland.
Yeah, a lot of people liking the over there with you as well. So leaning that way too, Bobano. Let's talk about my lovely Red Sox here next. Lost 2 bets on this game. I was on the Twins and on the under, last night. And the Red Sox seemingly are hot. Bobano, I'm starting to feel something. Like, is this team going to suck me back in and make me think they can make the playoffs right now?
Can they get out of last place first before you get sucked
well,
in?
it's hard, Bobano. Look at our fucking division. We're in the fucking meat grinder.
That does suck. Division. I mean, if you put them in any other division, they're right there probably.
Yeah, it's just hilarious watching the Red Sox beat up on all the other divisions and then come back to our division, Bobano, and it's just a torture chamber in there. But I think the Red Sox are on a mini hot streak right now. They've won 5 straight. We saw them do this earlier in the season when they won 8 straight, I think, as well. So I'm on them here, Boban. I'm going to ride the hot Sox here. Their offense has even been impressive. Young players are performing. This is obviously I would like the Red Sox to win the World Series and win the division, but that's not exactly what we're going for here in this season. My main goal for the Red Sox was for the young players to come up and develop and play well. Tristan Casas has come up. He's starting to hit really well, even though people are shit talking him all the time, talking about how shitty his defense is, which is not true, but whatever. Connor Wong has made the Mookie Betts trade look palatable now. Alex Verdugo is taking another step. So I'm excited to watch these Red Sox. I will be completely honest here. I was shocked at the price earlier today as well. I really thought this Twins line or this Twins Red Sox line was going to be, I don't know, like Twins minus 110, minus 120 like it is now. And earlier today, it was around like minus 130, minus 40. I was like, that was baffling. So I took the Red Sox money line earlier today. Did it with betting with the bag and Jimmy. Red Sox money line plus 126. And I took a juice team total over 3.5 here at minus 125. It's been a while since I've been able to say the Red Sox are hitting. And I'm glad to say it. Bailey Ober, a good pitcher in his own right. But I think the Red Sox can get to him. 7th last 2 weeks against righties, 130 weighted runs created plus. Twins offense is actually kind of buzzing as well. 121 weighted runs created plus. So maybe if Byron Buxton can snap out of whatever he's in, this Twins game can go over here. But I like the Red Sox team total and the Sox to win this game. But Bobano, what do you think?
Bailey Ober, they're 10-0 to the under in Bailey Ober starts this year.
I heard about that this morning. I was like, wow, are you kidding me? And it was funny about that too, Bobano. Jimmy, shout out to Jimmy. He took the first 5 under in his last start. The over cashed in the first 5, and the under, full game under, stayed under, obviously. So
yeah, so
great.
That's why I always say split it up. Split it up. First 5 full games, sides and totals. I do that. Well, I don't do it as much actually with totals, but certainly with sides I do. I don't know. Boston, I'm not stepping in front of Boston. So by default, it's Boston or pass for me. They're playing better. They're starting to hit better. But I'm higher than the betting markets and the public sentiment on Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober's been soft. Bailey Ober doesn't wow you at all when you watch him pitch. But all he does is keep his ERA in the 2s. And it's pretty much something he's done consistently since he's been a starting pitcher here with the Minnesota Twins. 2 ERA, and that's good enough. That means you're getting the job done. You're giving your team a chance to win. 2.65 ERA this season, 2.97 ERA overall at home this year. They have a winning record with Bailey Ober on the mound, 6-4. So for that reason, I'm not taking Boston. But I get the current form. They're playing well, and their offense has certainly been better than Minnesota's lately. I think the under, I would lean that way. I like Crawford to really neutralize Minnesota. Crawford, a lot of lefty bats in that Twins lineup. I think Crawford actually strikeout prop is worth a look. I see Rocco Rogers is mentioning that in the chat. I agree with that fully. I think that's the best way to bet this game if you like Boston, is just look at Crawford over 4.5 strikeouts, which I think he can get here for the Boston Red Sox in this game versus a Twins team striking out a bit more. I don't think the lineup matches up well against Crawford's type of arsenal either. So over 4.5 strike, a little juicy at minus 150, but I like over 4.5 strikeouts for Cutter.
Shout out to my guy Rocco there as well. Shout out to Turnsy in the chat as well. I love Cutter Crawford's name a lot, actually. Let's move on.
I had the dual strikeout prop last night in that Minnesota game. Pablo and James Paxton. Barely got James Paxton. I think it was the last batter he faced. He got that 7th strikeout. And then Pablo was no sweat. I mean, he was just mowing them. He gave up. It's weird. He gave up a shit ton of runs, but he was also striking out a ton.
Yeah, it was a weird game. It was a really weird game, to say the least. But it just seems to be the mantra. Bet all the AL East teams against everyone else because we're just better than you guys, apparently. So it's very funny. Let's go to Arizona, Milwaukee Brewers here. I've kept saying it throughout the year. I think the Milwaukee Brewers are the most fraudulent team in baseball. I don't believe in them. I think they lose this division. Like I said, I thought that I would have put my red money on the Reds a couple of weeks ago. But right now, I mean, Colin Ray versus Ryan Nelson, who every time I see R. Nelson, I still call him Reese Nelson in my head for some reason. I don't know why. But both these pitchers don't inspire confidence. I'm just shocked to see the Diamondbacks at plus money. So if I had to pick a side here, absolutely would be the plus money Arizona Diamondbacks. Market-wise, and I'll touch on the Red Sox game real quick since we didn't touch on it, 63% of bets, 82% of the money on the Red Sox there. The lines move towards the Red Sox, so I guess that makes me feel better. Total in that game as well, 69% of bets on the over, but 81% of the cash on the under there. So makes you feel like it's going to be an under game. I've been betting the Red Sox unders a lot recently, and they've been cashing. They didn't cash yesterday, so maybe go back to the well there. As for this game, market-wise, Milwaukee Brewers, Arizona Diamondbacks, 60% of tickets on the Diamondbacks, but a 50-50 money split. And totals-wise here, 65% of the bets on the over, 54% of the money on the under there. So it's interesting. And I lean Diamondbacks, but I ultimately didn't want anything to do with this game with these pitchers, unfortunately. Maybe a better pitching matchup, I'll be involved, but not this one.
I like the over here. I think Colin Ray can give up runs. I like over 2.5 earned runs prop as well for Colin Ray. Again, the reason why I like the full game over, though, is I don't fully trust Ryan Nelson either. Although Ryan Nelson does have a reverse home road split, home road dichotomy thing going, where he's actually struggled in Arizona. He's actually pitched his best baseball on the road. He's got a 3 ERA on the road, even though his overall ERA is at 5, and that home ERA jumps up close to 6. So it's weird with Ryan Nelson. He's actually pitched better on the road than at home. But still, I don't not fully on board with him because I'm not always sure what I'm going to get from Nelson start in, start out. So I think Milwaukee can score. I've said this a million times when I've been on either an over with Milwaukee or Milwaukee that they should be able to score some runs, but they don't always score runs when they should. So, but I do like the over here. I think he can get there over 9. And just as a way to, in case Nelson pitches well, I like the Ray over 2.5 earned runs, which is again -120. Very small price there.
Agreed. I'd be on Arizona. BJ, by the way, dropping his action, Ray's money line, and he has 2 units on the under in the Yankees Marlins game or Mariners. BJ, I'm actually on Ray's -1 and the under there with you. So let's cash together, my guy BJ. And I can't wait. This could be 2 good matchups there. Passing on this game for me here, Bobano. And again, we appreciate everyone in the chat as always. BJ, Nate Dog, Cheshire Cat, the Squirrel Master now, Londo, Rocco, my girl Chocolatey Waterfall. Appreciate you for watching. I actually have to DM you for Dave. I remember that. I have to remember that. Don Play, Turnsy. Appreciate all you guys. Let's move on to the game of the night. Game of the night, Bobano. The return of the conquering hero, Justin Verlander versus Framber Valdez. I say this every time Framber Valdez pitches, but he's my favorite lefty in the league. I just adore everything about him. In my baseball dreams, I wish it could have been Framber Valdez, essentially. So seeing the Astros as such big favorites was surprising to me, Boban. I don't know about you. I thought the market would, or I thought, I guess, odds makers would respect the Mets and Verlander more, but nay. And honestly, that just made me lean Mets here, or lean Astros, excuse me. But really, I had struggled putting together anything on this game, Boban. I like the Mets, I like the Astros last night, and thank God I didn't bet it because the Mets went out there and just cleaned up and took care of business. But really, I had nothing on this game. If I had to make a play on it, I'd make your rudimentary, simple, first 5 under play. But I've seen so many people I respect leaning first 5 over, full game over. And you know what? I honestly could see the logic. I really could. So, again, if I had to make a play, I guess I'd side with the people and lean over, but really nothing for me in this game. I think it's going to be a fantastic watch, and we'll see how Justin Verlander handles all the emotions, though.
I think he's going to want to come out and pitch well. And we know this Astros lineup is not in good form right now. We've seen it repeatedly now during this skid of theirs that they're just not that same line. At the moment, they're not. Not saying they can't get back there. You have to respect that guys like Bregman and Pena and Tucker and this great deep lineup is going to get their act together at some point. But right now, they haven't been great. I think it could be a pitcher's duel tonight. I don't have anything here side or total. I would lean Mets certainly at the plus price. I don't want to lay a price with Houston, but I respect Framber Valdez, who I think can neutralize this Mets lineup. I think it's a dual strikeout prop game, quite honestly. I like both guys to rack up the Ks here tonight in this matchup. Verlander only over 5.5 strikeouts, plus 110. Good number, good price, and a motivational spot for him. And Framber over 5.5 strikeouts as well. I think both guys can get 6+ Ks.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game. I'll tell you that for sure. I have to use my nefarious methods to watch this game in Texas, but I'm going to be excited watching it for sure. I don't know, Bobano. I would love to hear a prediction for Justin Verlander's line in this game, because I could see it being 3 innings, 5 earned runs, or I could see it being 7 innings of shutout baseball. I really don't know what's going to happen here. What do you think, or just a general prediction?
It's a tough. I don't trust the Astros lineup right now. Verlander, the home run ball can still be an issue for him. There's no question about that. We know there's a lot of power in this line, so that's the one thing that worries me too. Is that he gives up a few bombs, and then all of a sudden he's not in the game as long and doesn't get that strikeout prop. But it's a risk I'm willing to take because I think he's definitely wanting to beat this team. There's no question about that. But so I like him. I think he'll pitch well. And I got to see it from the Astros. They're not hitting right now. And I do think the Mets can struggle a little bit against Valdez here. I think it's pitcher's duel.
It's going to be a good
one.
And
I like that there was a lot of runs last night. And a lot of times you see when it's a shit ton of runs one night, you're going to get the opposite the next night. When it's an extreme high-scoring game, a lot of times you get low the next game.
Agreed there. Market-wise, real quick before we head out of here, and I got to do a better job referencing it because I know a lot of people enjoy listening to the numbers. 54% of the bets and 78% of the money on the Houston Astros. The line's just gone up. So shout out to the Astros there. And totals-wise is the real mystery here. The market kind of split evenly as well as everyone else. 55% of the bets and 60% of the money on the over, though. Shockingly enough, not many people thinking this is going to be an under game. 45-40. Very, very interesting as well. So let's move on. I cannot wait to watch that game. And it's very interesting, Bobano, that the two of the more exciting, games or whatever teams to talk about in the last couple of years, well, last year now, is the Rangers and the Astros. I don't get to watch dick of their games because I'm in Texas and I blacked out all the time. So I think that honestly might affect my capping with the Rangers because I don't watch them very often because I can't. And I obviously don't pay for cable. Who pays for cable? And it's affected my capping because I have been expecting the Rangers to fall off. I really have. I think at some point, my guy Nasty Nate, who I love to death, shout out to Nasty Nate in the chat and on the mound, is going to get hurt. And when he gets hurt, who's left? John Gray, who's been having the career year of his. Martin Perez has been worse. Who else? I'm going to be interested to see how they do when that happens. I don't have these odds, and I would love for someone in the chat to look this up. I would love to see what Rangers to not make the playoffs are right now. I would love to see that because I really do think it's hard to go from, a ship bum team to immediately winning your division, especially in a division which now has 3 horses in this race. Shout out to the Angels who are wanting to fight in this division. Bruce Bochy, another guy who could be manager of the year easily. But I just do not have faith in this Rangers lineup. Maybe it's because I haven't seen it. Well, it's not lineup, I should say. Rangers team. I don't trust the pitching. I obviously don't trust the relievers. We'll see what they do at the deadline. All of this to say, I like the over in this game. Over 8.5 -105. Dylan Cease has been, good this year in his spots, but I just don't trust him still. And obviously I can't wait for this to happen, Bobano, because there have been reports that the White Sox are already, like half of their team wants out. Like we all know Giolito is going to get traded. And now there's rumors like maybe they'll trade Cease. Maybe they'll even trade Lubob. And if, the Red Sox were to trade for Dylan Cease, I cannot wait to turn 180 degrees on it and say, he's the best pitcher in the American League East. But I think this game goes over here. I kind of should have, I thought I should have, I probably should bet first 5 and full game overs here, but I just took full game over 8.5, hoping that both these bullpens also capitulate here. So I cannot wait to see that. And again, let me know if anyone has playoff odds right now on their thing. Let me know what you guys have them not to make the playoffs. I'd be interested to see that. Bobana, what do you think?
I don't know. People keep saying Texas is going to fall apart. I don't see it right now. They just keep on playing good baseball. I know their rotation. You question it. Can Eovaldi and Gray and Dunning and pitchers like that keep them rolling? You don't think they're going to try to pick up another arm at the deadline?
Yeah,
Clearly,
Giolito or Marcus Stroman has the race. That's their. They need to get one of those guys. 100%.
So yeah, that's why I'm saying people that are bashing their rotation, you actually don't think they're going to upgrade. Of course they're going to upgrade. They know that they are going to be a team that's going to be in not only playoff contender, they can win this division. They're leading this division right now, the AL West. So they're definitely going to be buyers at the trade deadline. And look, Eovaldi's been good. He's been really good. Cease, I think, can pitch pretty decently here. But again, these two bullpens we saw last night, both of them leave a lot to be desired. Chicago's bullpen struggled. Texas's bullpen almost gave up the game in the latter innings last night. They had to wiggle themselves out of trouble. So I don't mind the overlook, and it's 8.5. That's a low total with the way the Texas is mashing the baseball right now. I think this is a dual strikeout prop, though. I really do. I think Eovaldi can get Ks against this White Sox lineup. I like his strikeout prop over 5.5, and I like Cease. I think can get over his strikeout prop here as well.
It's going to be interesting to watch. I've referenced the trade deadline so many times. Because as a wee lad, I've always wanted to be like a general manager for a baseball team. I love transactions. I'm a transaction whore. I love a trade. So I reference the trade deadline often. The Rangers are 100%, and so are the White Sox, going to be one of the more interesting teams at the trade deadline because the White Sox are going to be sellers, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know how to say your name, Jay Lag, but he thinks that the Cubs won't trade Stroman here. I think they will. And that's just based off of them not re-engaging in contract extension talks. And they're obviously in a shit division, and we'll see how that all operates. But leaving for nothing or getting a trade for some prospects to hopefully help you in the future, I would be surprised. I would be very surprised if he doesn't get traded. So, and same thing with Giolito as well. I think he's, like Andrew G is saying, he'll be probably the best starting pitcher in the market. If the Brewers are obviously not going to sell their pieces because they're in first place. So Burns, Woodruff off the table. Dylan Cease could be another guy. But Stroman is probably the best pitcher on the market. So I would be very interested to see how all that operates. But like I said, I'm just a transaction whore. I love a trade. Bobano. By the way, Bobano, I'll just ask you real quick. Do you have any Blue Jays wants and needs at the trade deadline? Perhaps a whole new bullpen?
Yeah, anything in the bullpen would be nice because they have no bullpen right now other than Romano and other than Swanson. I mean, it's really a two-man bullpen. Who the fuck else in their bullpen can they trust to get outs right now? I mean, nobody's pitched. Simber's had a terrible season. Nobody else has pitched. Mesa's not quite, someone you trust anymore. It's a situational lefty. It's a problem. I mean, Jimmy Garcia's brutal this year. I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, they just haven't been good in the bullpen, and they can count on their closer and their setup guy, and that's about it. Well, you have to be able to bridge from the starter to the setup and the closer. You're not going to be able to just have your starter pitch 7 innings every night. So they've got to work on the bullpen, clearly. I think they're starting pitching. Obviously, they're trying to get Manoah fixed. Ryu, is he going to come back at some point? Gosman's been good. Barrios, last night struggled a bit, but Barrios has been good this year. So, I think the bullpen's their biggest issue.
I completely forgot about Ryu. And I saw Nate Pearson in the bullpen.
Yep.
I remember 2 years ago when he was supposed to be what Hunter Green is.
Yeah.
And God, this Blue Jays team, man, what a disaster of a season they're having, and they're still not in last place, which is shocking and annoying as a Red Sox fan. By the way, a good question and 2 good questions. I'll mention them real quick. Shout out to Chris Mack, who didn't. It's not a question, but he let us know. He dropped the Texas to not make the playoffs is only plus 265 right now. That is surprising. I thought that was going to be like plus 500, plus 400. So I am shocked at how that is. I don't know. I just really thought that would be higher, but Ben, I don't know if you have an opinion on that. But my second thing is here real quick. There's another question. I just lost it here. Oh, BJ asking a fishy line for Stroman and the Cubs here. I'm not on it, but I'll tell you, the market is a little interesting as well when you have 28% of the bets on the Pirates and 53% of the money on the Pirates. So someone is betting the Pirates heavy. Someone's, who knows? I like the Cubs -1 here, but I didn't make it. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be very, very interesting. As far as the trade deadline is going to be fascinating. What these teams are going to end up doing, but right now it's I think the next few weeks are going to tell us a lot, because what are the Reds going to do? I don't think the Reds should be buyers. Reds are long. It's a long-term plan for Cincinnati. This little streak is just, you're not going to buy and you're not going to, trade any pieces away. You're going to sink or swim with the group you have right now.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested. That's why I was always hesitant on betting the Reds to win their division. The other teams in their division, like the Cardinals, they're going to buy. I don't think they're going to go quietly into the night. Because we saw what the Nationals did a couple of years ago, going from like last. Was it the Nationals? They went last in the division, and then all that won the World Series. I think it was them. But yeah, let's move on to this game because we've had a long discussion rambling about random things here. Brian Watson asking a great question: who we have in the Padres game, because that's our next game. Padres Giants here. Seth Lugo, no rehabs, ballsy decision. It's a calf injury, so I can understand, I guess, why he doesn't need rehab starts. He's probably been throwing this whole time, just sitting. Who knows? He's been throwing, I can guarantee that. And Anthony DeSclafani and the hot Giants right now. Another team. The Reds, the Giants have both just been dueling these win streaks right now. 8 wins straight for the Giants here, sweeping the Dodgers. Seeming like a legitimate ball club, making everything more interesting in the National League as well. And by the way, when's the last time we saw the Dodgers in third place of the NL West? Shocking to see that. Do not see that all very often. I don't want to fade the Giants here. I'll be honest. So I trust the Giants and their decision making, and I don't know. Maybe it's just like my old-timey self, Bobano. Maybe my age is showing here, I guess. The old man here. I'd rather my pitchers go on rehab starts. Sue me. I don't feel comfortable betting a guy who doesn't have a rehab start. So I'm passing here.
And the problem here is San Francisco is just on a roll. I thought if they were ever going to lose, it was yesterday, sweeping the Dodgers and bit of a, letdown spot, if you believe in. I don't believe in those as much in baseball, but they do happen. But they didn't. They obviously came back and they hit the San Diego bullpen late, and of course the walk off by Yastrzemski. They can do no wrong right now, but there's no way I'm taking San Francisco with DeSclafani. I won't do it. He is just not someone I trust. This lineup though is hitting, and so that has me looking at over again. Honestly, with the Padres and Giants tonight, I think it could get over this number. Lugo is not someone that's going to pitch deep into the game. We're going to see a lot of Padres bullpen. I don't know if that's a good thing right now. Giants can score. I think the Padres can score here against DeSclafani. Again, I'm not really sold on what I've seen from him, in this rehab start. We'll see how it went, but he has not been someone that's been getting it done consistently for the Giants. So it's a lean to San Francisco just because the team's on this kind of win streak. It's ride the streak or pass for me every single time. So it's San Francisco or pass. I'm just going to look more toward the total, though, over 8.5.
Yeah, agreed. I would rather pass here on the side. And total-wise, I guess I would lean under. Third best offense last 2 weeks, 143 weighted runs created plus for the Giants. And for the Padres, 12th best, 113 weighted runs created plus. A Padres team we thought was turning the corner. Turning the corner. There you go. Yeah. So 6-4. Last 10. Not good. Market-wise, real quick before we move on here. 63% of bets, but 46% of the money on the Giants. So again, someone making bigger bets on the Padres here just keeps me off in general. And by the way, my narrative of the Rangers continuing to be the most public team of just every day. I just see 88%, 90% of money on the Rangers every single day for some reason. Same case today. Again, 88%, 90% of the money on the Rangers. It's just every time it makes me scared to bet on them, but they always win seemingly. Last game on our card, the Battle of Los Angeles here. I think they call it the highway rivalry. I don't know. Whatever. This rivalry doesn't mean shit to anyone else outside of California. I'll tell you that. Angels Dodgers here.
Now in hockey, it's the freeway face-off. So
great.
They call it with the Kings and the Ducks. So
awesome, and I'm sure that rivalry has been just lively. I'm sure the last couple of years. Your last place Ducks versus your formerly last place Kings. Shout out to them. This guy knows hockey. Dodgers here. Clayton Kershaw on the road. I think it's just a good general rule of thumb. I know Kershaw is really good, but I just don't trust him on the road. I'm sure he's going to dominate here. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You saw this total drop from a 9 to an 8.5. So there's your first indication. And Reed Detmer's 1-5 record is extremely deceiving. His last 2 starts, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run against the aforementioned Texas Rangers. And then 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run against the Cubs. So I respect Reed Detmers enough to stay off here. I'd lean under here, but the line's already gone from 9 to 8.5 here. Last month against lefties for both of these squads, 121 weighted runs created plus for the Dodgers, 158 or 159 plate appearances. That's 8th best. So you kind of expect them to hit here. Angels on the other side, full season, it's really good. 7th, 113. But unfortunately, last month, 88 weighted runs created plus and 154 plate appearances. So just not getting it done. So I lean under here in this game, but this is unfortunately a pass for me.
I like the spot for the Dodgers. I do. They got humbled, they got buried, they got embarrassed, and that hasn't happened very often. This is obviously a team that's had a great run this last decade, but that was embarrassing against San Francisco. That team just absolutely cleaned your clock throughout that weekend. Day off, hit the reset button. Clayton Kershaw wasn't great in his last start against the White Sox. He struggled a bit. I think this is when Clayton Kershaw shows you that veteran savvy here. He pitches well. He dominates this Angels team. I think he shuts them down. I think Dodgers get back on track. I like them first 5 full game split here. And I like Kershaw over strikeouts, the prop as well in this game. And look, Detmers has pitched a little bit better here, but Dodgers lineup, not always proficient against lefties, but I think you get them in a mood where they want to do inflict some damage here in this game here. So I like the Dodgers here. First 5 full game. And a Kershaw over strikeout prop. And I might be joining Sharpie in the late night hours because I know he's doing a live something for this Dodgers-Angels game. So I might be jumping in on that for a little bit.
Shout out to Sharpie, as always. Great live, or not great live, but a great prop better. There we go. And shout out to the Walking Dead. I'm sure his live betting show will be fantastic as always. A lot of love for the Dodgers here. Only 2 people I saw on the Angels. Shout out to my girl, the Chocolatey Waterfall on the Angels. And it seems like Air Dog took LA -1.5, who I'm assuming he means the Angels. So very interesting. And by the way, allegedly, according to Andrew G, I've not looked at the matchups tomorrow. Otani tomorrow against the Dodgers. I cannot wait to hear everyone say the collective same thing. This is Otani's tryout for his future squad. So I can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And by the way, I don't know if you saw this too, Bobano. There's, everyone, The Athletic does your anonymous polls. 52% of players think Otani is going to the Dodgers next year. So yeah, it's written on the walls.
The Angels haven't had enough pain the last decade. No playoffs with a guy like Mike Trout on the team. You've got this 2 great pair, Trout and Otani, on the same team. It's been magic individually. I mean, they're still hoping it results in team success, but now after all this, and you might lose them to your bitter arch rival across the city, not good.
Yeah, it's gonna be ugly
across the freeway.
Yeah. And on top of that, I heard this on a podcast, and I'll put this in the ether right now. Let's just be honest. Otani leaves. Why the fuck would Mike Trout want to stay? When Otani leaves, the rumblings of the Mike Trout trade will start. Yep. And that is when shit will get interesting. By the way, Rick J, the signs of Otani wanting to go there, West Coast, he'll get paid a shitload of money there, and the Dodgers are very good. It's really, like TNT saying, the Dodgers are really one of the only options, who knows if he wants to stay on the West Coast. That's just like a typical thing that we hear of Japanese baseball players, I guess. They want to stay on the West Coast so they can go to Japan easier instead of flying across the country. But that's just a thing. My dark horse team that I really want him to go to actually is the Seattle Mariners. But whatever. I guess the power of Ichiro is not that strong. Let's recap here, Bobano, because this has been a fun program as always. We kind of bounced around everywhere, talked about everything here on this program. I'm glad we could talk about everything with you, Bobano. I'll go first here because I know we have to strap in and put our pen and papers down to get all of your action here. My 2 bets on the Red Sox game, made them earlier today with my guy Jimmy. Red Sox money line plus 123. Red Sox team total over 3.5 minus 125. It's going to be very fascinating, by the way, Bobano. I think I bet on the Red Sox every day, and this is extremely unintentional, on them, against them in that game, some way, some fashion. I cannot wait to see how many Red Sox bet games I've bet by the end of the season, because it's going to be an absurd amount. It's going to be hilarious. Seattle, New York, under 7 minus 120. First 5 under. Washington, St. Louis, under 4.5 minus 120. The over in Texas, Chicago White Sox, 8.5 minus 105. And Tampa Bay Rays, -1 minus 124. Bobana, what are you on?
Wow, let's bring out the rap sheet here. That's what it feels like when we recap the card. Atlanta, team total over 4.5 minus 120. Atlanta, Philadelphia over 8.5 minus 110. Washington plus 120 first 5, split with Washington plus 130 for the full game. We've got Cincinnati -0.5 minus 125 first 5, split with Cincinnati -1 minus 140 full game. Arizona, Milwaukee over 9 minus 120. San Diego, San Francisco over 8.5 minus 115. Kansas City, Detroit over 8.5 minus 110. Oakland, Cleveland over 8.5 minus 125. Miami -114. Dodgers -135 first 5, split with Dodgers -125 full game. And then all the props, Ranger Suarez over 2.5 earned runs -130. Marcus Stroman over 4.5 strikeouts -105. Mackenzie Gore over 5.5 strikeouts -105. Ben Lively over 5.5 strikeouts -104. Colin Ray, Milwaukee over 2.5 earned runs -105. Tyler Glasnow, Tampa, over 7.5 strikeouts +110. George Kirby, Seattle, over 5.5 strikeouts -125. Garrett Cole, New York Yankees, over 7.5 strikeouts -130. Cutter Crawford, Boston, over 4.5 strikeouts -150. Nate Eovaldi, Texas, over 5.5 strikeouts -150. Dylan Cease, Chicago White Sox, over 6.5 strikeouts -115. Yuri Perez, Miami, over 4.5 strikeouts -150. Justin Verlander, New York Mets, over 5.5 strikeouts +110. Framber Valdez, Houston, over 5.5 strikeouts -115. And last but not least, Clayton Kershaw, LA Dodgers, over 6.5 strikeouts -120.
Woo!
Woo!
There we go.
Worn out after that.
It's going to be a fun day, Bobano. I'm sure of it. Appreciate you, Bobano, as always, for joining me on this Tuesdays. As always, it's going to be a whole lot of fun watching all these baseball games. I'll be thinking about strikeouts all day for you. It's going to be a lot of fun in that sense. Cheshire Cat, Rocco, BJ, Chocolatey Waterfall, DX Filer, shout to you, Steen, Nate Dogg, 420, Jay Peasy, J Lag. All you guys, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Real Deal Prime, Rick J, Steve G, and Andrew G, and Timmy the Dag, TNT in here. Hit the like button while you guys are here. Robert Franklin as well. Hit the like button. We appreciate you guys as always.
Hit that like button. Yep.
Yeah, it has to happen. We need it. Helps the program, helps me out a lot, and we just need it for the pub, you know. And if you're looking for other ways to support the pub, go to the website right now, www.pubsportsradio.com. You can catch all of the shows right there as well, with a bunch of comprehensive numbers as well. We actually keep our bets on the site as well. So if you're like, oh, what is Jose on today? Let's go on the Pub Sports Radio site. You can see all the plays there as well. It's very cool in that aspect. And we have our links there to go sign up for books. If you need like Bet Online, because Bet Online gives out great baseball odds, go click their link. I should say, go click their logo. It'll bring you to their website. You'll sign up. It'll notify them that we sent you. It helps out the pub a lot. And of course, it'll help you because it's a good site with a lot of good odds. So appreciate you guys. I will be back tomorrow again at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Another edition of Say Hey Plays. We have Biff Tandon, a.k.a. Dabby Cab, joining the program, and can't wait, as always. Love talking to Dabby. But Bannon, when's the next time we'll be seeing you on the airwaves?
Yeah, it'll be Friday. Betting with the Bag. We're back every 2 weeks in the summer. We're on that show with Jimmy. So every 2 Fridays. So June 23rd, this Friday, will be on. And it'll be a Ticat game day, their home opener. on Friday. 0-2 start, though. Not a good start, but hey, they haven't played a home game yet. So let's see how they do it on Friday night. Looking forward to it.
Beautiful. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm a pseudo Cats fan, Bobano. I roll with you. Our Cats.
Yep.
Who's your quarterback this year?
Well, he's injured now. Bo Levi Mitchell, at least for this week, not playing. So it's Matt Schultz time. Get me an ice cold Schultz, who's actually very capable. So I wouldn't write us, and we're beating a team that's playing a team that's very beatable on Friday night. So I don't think we're out of it by any stretch in that game, and we're definitely chomping at the bit to get win number 1.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to talk Cats on a Friday with you, Bobana. We'll see you there as always.
Someone asked about best bet. I'm not a best bet guy, especially when high volume. I do it on the shows because everyone wants a best bet segment. But if I had my choice, I would never give out a best bet because everything's pretty much equal.
I bet all my plays equally too.
That's right. So,
well.
Although I do like those earned run prop bets I like tonight. I think Ranger can give up at least 3. Atlanta's mashing lefties. Colin Ray over 2.5 earned runs. Milwaukee, I think, is a good one. So how about those two? Ranger Suarez, Philly, over 2.5 earned runs, and Colin Ray, Milwaukee, over 2.5 earned runs. Let's go with those. I do like those.
There you go. Shout out to whoever asked that. Appreciate everyone. As always, say hey to us on social media. We'll see you guys next time.